Welcome back to Hot Takes, and today we have shocking news, and that is that Martin signed with Aprilia. No one saw that coming, right? Let's check out what that means for the championship. Well, first of all, that is the best possible news that we could have gotten for the championship battle next year. And why is that? Because Aprilia has a good package, and they haven't had riders to really fulfill that package. Vinales has showed us that the package can be fast, it can win, it can fight at the front. However, Vinales is a very inconsistent rider. Martin is the fastest guy in the championship right now. He's leading in the points and he's consistently very, very fast. So putting him on the Aprilia is our best chance at having a multi-manufacturer battle at the front. Right now, it's an all Ducati battle for the championship, which is really not the best thing that we want to see. This season's silly season has been crazy. We have a lot of free agents, and the next free agent that everybody wants to know about is Marc. It always seemed like it was a bit of a battle between Marc and Martin to go to that red bike that everybody wants, and Martin made it clear in the past that he wanted that. Well, now it seems like Marc is the favorite for that. So we would be expecting him to sign a deal fairly soon with Ducati. Why not Bastianini? Well, Bastianini has been doing pretty well, but he isn't Marc. He has not been fighting at the front the way Marc has in recent races, and we really don't expect him to stay on that bike. People had said in the past that maybe Bastianini would go to Aprilia, and so it was a huge shock for a lot of people, I think, that Martin signed that deal. So why did Martin sign the deal? Well, first of all, Aleix is his best friend in the MotoGP paddock, and as Aleix was leaving, he talked up Aprilia and he had a lot of good things to say. But it's also more complicated than that. So Martin has the best bike on the grid right now, bar none. Why would he leave that? Why would he leave the best bike? Well, two reasons riders leave manufacturers. One, they feel like they can be more competitive on another bike. They want a better bike. Two, they feel slighted. So Martin felt like last year he did enough to get the factory ride and they didn't give it to him. And so he has been disgruntled ever since. And that means that Aprilia had an open door that they could come and snag him with. This recent news really brings up an interesting point about that Marc made earlier in the weekend. At the start of the weekend, they were talking to him about where he would go, and he said Pramac was not an option. That's interesting for him to say, and he didn't elaborate onto why, but it makes you wonder whether he saw some of these moves coming and he wanted to make it clear that he wanted the red bike, that he wants the fast bike, because they might be tempted to keep Bastianini where he is and put Marc on the Pramac bike. And it seems like he doesn't want that, and he might have been getting out ahead of that. So we'll see what happens with Marc, but we know that he really wants the current factory bike. Marc is very ambitious, and it's clear that he believes that if he has equal machinery to Bagnaia, that he will beat him in most, if not all, the races. It's clear the way that he rides that he is gunning for that. He wants the top spot. He wants to be the best, no questions asked. And he wants 2 more championships. He wants 10. He wants no question that he is the GOAT, the greatest of all time rider. And the only way he can do that is with 10 world championships. So expect him to get on that red bike and stay on that red bike until he has his championships. So what does 2025 look like? Well, KTM signed Pedro Acosta. That's not big news. We always knew that he was destined for that seat, and he got Jack Miller's bike. They also signed Binder, so they have a pretty good package going on there. In the last race at Mugello, we saw that Pedro Acosta can make those tires last. He can last to the end of the race much better than other riders. And a 5th place behind all the Ducatis is excellent position for him to be in. So expect the best possible performance from KTM next year with him on the top bike, with the top engineers, him in his second season, it will be close. With Martin on the Aprilia, he's probably going to take some learning of the bike, but I'd expect him to be pretty quick, pretty consistent right from the start. With Mark on the red bike, it's hard to bet against Mark and Bagnaia. Ducati really has the best shot at 2 more world championships, because remember that in 2027, they're changing the rules. So in 2026, development of the bikes will be frozen. That means that whatever you have for 2025 will be there for 2026. And Ducati has an excellent package right now, clearly the fastest bike. So with 2 of the fastest riders on the grid, the fastest bike for the next 2 years, they're set up to lock down the championship for the next 2 years. It'd be hard to bet against that. But we're hoping that KTM and Aprilia bring their best game so we can see great racing in the future. If you like this content, like and subscribe, and stay with us for the latest news on Hot Takes, the motorcycle show for busy people who love motorcycles.